action!
So you were selected to direct the new Jurassic World. How was that?
It was a bit of a surprise. I didn't chase this movie. I didn't seek it out. It came to me, and I had planned to make a series of original films. That's what I want to do as a filmmaker, and to build my craft as I should. And yet, for a reason that I only have a partial understanding of, Steven Spielberg felt that I would be the right filmmaker to bring this franchise back and
Yes.
to give it that same sense of adventure and terror and humor and in our case romance that these movies I think should have. And so I embraced that challenge, and I found it to be an opportunity to do something that maybe on paper sounded a little crazy. Which is something that always excites me. I like things that sound crazy.
Action!
How was working with Steven Spielberg?
It was a gift. I worked with him a lot in the process of writing the story and the screenplay, and then once it was time to make the film, he really stepped back and he let me make my movie, which he very much wanted to feel like my own. And I think he recognizes that when he was my age, he was given the opportunity to tell stories that were personal to him and that were his voice. And I was so grateful that he allowed me to do the same. I mean, it is a surprisingly personal film for something that is on the scale that it is, and that's due to the freedom that he was able to give me.
Yes. How tough was to create all this world? This phenomenal park in Hawaii, and have the actors there, and how tough is that?
Well, actually, I mean, once the park was created, I didn't build it with my own hands. And so those who built it. No, that was we built that whole park, that entire street, everything you see.
It looks real, yeah.
It is real, yeah. No, I mean, we built that set. It's one of the biggest sets built for a movie in a long time. And in the end, I think people assume that creating a digital environment is going to be somehow cheaper, but in a lot of cases it isn't. And also, especially.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic, and it isn't necessarily less expensive to do, because that means every shot you have becomes a visual effects shot, and they cost a lot of money. Every time you see a dinosaur, it's like a kid's college education, and so we wanted to build something because I knew that you would be able to not just feel that it was real, but also we employed hundreds of carpenters and people who were able to put a little bit of themselves, a little bit of their soul into it, and I feel it's a very soulful movie, and it's not just me. It's everybody who was
And what
involved.
about the dinosaurs? Was it all graphics, or there were real monsters? I mean,
it was a combination of a lot of things. A lot was done in the computer, but we also had animatronics that people could actually feel and touch, and we had maquettes that were very carefully crafted and sculpted that you would be able to interact with, and then we would just add a bit of the skin movement in the eyes, but they were present, they were there. And then we did something that none of these movies have ever done, which is to have motion capture. And so we had actors who were very fluid with their modern dancers, very fluid with their body and their movement, who were able to play the raptors as characters. And so when you see the four of them all together and each of them are moving slightly differently, it's because they're people.
So they can move quickly and jump.
They can move. They can move like things that are alive, and I think and they're animated as well. When something jumps onto the back of another guy, that's going to be an animated raptor. But when they're all being trained by Chris Pratt, and when he's interacting with them, they're played by people, because I know that humans can recognize other living things. It's something very deep within us.
What did you try to do differently from the other movies, the previous franchises?
I don't think any of those movies had a sense of romance to them, and so the romance was something we wanted to add. And I also felt like this movie had an opportunity to to be a little bit more about our relationship with animals on the planet right now, and how, yes, we put them in cages and zoos, but we also use them for agriculture and for medicine and for war. And so the story about the possibility of weaponizing the animals, I felt like this is the next kind of mistake that humans would make in the order of all of our mistakes.
Yeah.
The first one would be to make them in the first place, and the second one would be to weaponize them. And it felt like a very real step for me.
We're going after it with everything we got.
Is there going to be a sequel?
Probably. I don't think I will direct it. I think this franchise would be best served by having a different vision every time, by a new filmmaker who loves Steven Spielberg's films. And they're very difficult movies to make sequels to. They're not like superhero films where you can follow the adventures of a character that you love. And so I'll be there to support whoever it is, and I'm sure I'll be involved creatively. But I think the best thing for these films is to have them constantly changing.
Yeah.